Alrighty, so for week 8, we're going to do something that I've talked about in the past, and it's just a really good time, I think, to talk about it because since the beginning of this course, I've really been, and you all know this, harping upon using dev tools and the importance of dev tools to actually troubleshoot your code. And when I say troubleshoot, the term we actually use is debug. So there's bugs in our code. Now, those bugs may be from us just not typing something correctly to a logic bug, like it might have been syntactically correct, but it was still erroring out on the console, or maybe it just didn't produce the right output. So there's different levels of errors. And the reason I, again, say so many times, make sure as you're coding along with me that you are stopping as I show it, like this is what the output should be, and you're getting that output, because the further you go beyond that, trying to find issues in your code gets more and more challenging. And I've seen that this week in a particular student interaction. And I thought, you know what, I've been thinking about this for a while. So now it's a time to actually give us an experience of doing it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a debugging challenge, the code saboteur. And so what you're going to do, and this is the logistics of what it is you're going to create in your public repo a W8A folder. Okay, so a new folder at the same level we've been making other folders. Copy all, and actually this should say all your files. I'll update this before you get here, but all your files from your week 7, the ending of week 7, into this new public. So you're going from your private to your public. For those of you on CodeSpace, you could do this various ways. You could copy it from GitHub, but you need to have it. I just know that, and when you're working on CodeSpace, you can only have one repo open at a time. So if you need help with that, let me know. So then you'll commit that just to show that you've done that, right? So I make sure it works. So like for me, I'm here, right? I have this set up in my public repo. I'm in week 8A. I have DevTools open. I make sure that I'm actually producing correct code, no errors to start with. Okay. All right. So once you get there, so now here's the challenge. So I have gone through a couple of iterations to create this prompt, and I've given you a link to the prompt itself. Okay. And you can read through here basically what it's doing, right? You're a senior developer testing a student's debugging skills, right? Analyze provided code. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Provide 3 separate debugging challenges, one at a time. Don't move on until to the next challenge till the student successfully identifies and fix the current one. Okay, so what you're going to end up doing, I'll show you this in a minute, is providing that week 8 code into the prompt. Okay. And then for each one, for each challenge, copy. So what you will do is once you get the prompt going, it'll give you a specific function, and then you will copy that exactly. It's one bug into the code. So in a sense, it's helping you because it's actually showing you how to focus. And then that, like, here's where the code is at. But then how do you determine what the bug is? And I'll talk about this in a minute, right? So challenge 1's a syntax, a reference, and then a logic error. So this is what I was talking about, is that when you're coding, you may just get syntax errors, like you didn't close something correctly. You may get reference errors. These are fairly common, to where it's like when you're referencing something, but it is not there. And then a logic error, these are generally the hardest ones to find, okay? Now I have built in some randomness, or tried to, into the prompt as well, right? So that you all get different errors. But if, and this is part of what I will say, take a quick look and see if somebody got one of your errors, and you can actually ask the prompt to give you a new one. I realized I hadn't refreshed the screen because I actually had it update the prompt to actually help with this randomness. Okay, so if for some reason, right, you see something you already posted an error, you can actually just say, hey, give me a different one, right? Okay, so this is the prompt, right? So I'll go ahead and just copy this prompt Right, here it is. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to use ChatGPT because I know normally I use other ones, but let's go back to here before I move on, right? So go to your favorite Gen AI tool. I know I'm going to use Gemini, use whichever one you want. Now, when you paste in this prompt before you hit enter, and this is key, upload or paste your JavaScript files. Now, all of them, okay? And I'll show you how I do this. Now, this could be different for your different Gen AIs. Like I know with Gemini, I actually needed to zip the file and provide the zip file. But for chat, this worked fine. So I pasted in that, but before I hit the return or the enter, I hit plus. I said add files, and then I went to that folder, that week 8A, right? Right, there you go. So now for this, it needed to actually, if you see that little spinning, you have to wait till it's completely uploaded them, okay? So then what it's going to do is it's going to read through, right? It's going to read through my code. Should be reading through my code. Oh, there it is. It's like in a minute, right? So then it's going to tell me, okay, here's the error, right? Here's this, here is the code you need to then copy, right? So in this case, it's in the table renderer, create row, or in this case, in the table renderer, create row function. Okay, so I would take this code and I would go over. Now I'm not going to, this is the part that you do. I'm going to actually get rid of this real quick and just let me pause. So actually I did copy it in because this is one of the things I wanted to talk about is that in this case, when you get these red squiggly, right? So this is actually part of just VS Code. I'm not even in DevTools yet. And again, I've been focused more on dev tools, and I thought, you know what, it's good to actually talk about. There are tools built into VS Code to help you as well, especially when you're just typing in the syntax itself. So like in here, you look for these red squiggly lines, and look how the file itself turns red. Now, when I was interacting with a student this week, I realized that I had mentioned to them this problem tab here. So it actually can help you as well. And a student was saying they didn't see it. What I realized is that when they had posted their print screen, they had already fixed the issue, so it doesn't have a problem in here. And I was thinking maybe I had some other extension loaded, but I realized I didn't. Now, in this case, the red squiggly lines are there to try to give you that flashing, hey, this is an issue. Now, in this case, right, if I was to come over to here, I would also get an error in Chrome, DevTools. So, you just need to find where you are the most comfortable looking for stuff. But I generally, as I'm typing code, will see if I get immediately stop and say, hey, I get a squiggly line here. What would that issue be? Okay. So again, so that's just, I'm showing you logistically how you move through this, right? So what you're going to do first is work on the first one. See if you can determine what the error is, right? They will provide you 3 at a time, but only 1 at a time. So then you copy, that's what you just saw me do, that code snippet into your VS Code to replace that current function, and then commit for each one. That way there's a trail of that you did all 3, right? And then use whichever technique is most comfortable for you, right? Again, I showed you the squiggly line, the problem tab, and the dev tool browser console, right, to identify. Now, in this case, the other way in DevTools is actually click here. And I know I've shown this because this is something fairly common that I do, is come in here and see that as well. So you have multiple ways to see errors, but I thought, you know what? It is just good to talk about these and give you some experience of talking to each other about them as well. Okay, explain the fix to the AI, right? And then move on to the next one, right? Next level. So these are 3 levels, right? They get a little more complicated as you go, right? Now, in that case, once you could actually do another commit, but in this case, make sure you'll fix it, right? So this is the other thing, is you got to fix this one before you move on to the next one, and you can interact with the prompt about this, right? Find, and again, you will have a different output based on whatever Gen AI you're using here. Yeah, and then you would come back and report, this is how I fixed it, right? And you would know both from the output and here, and then possibly interacting. Okay. All right. So no, okay, so All right, so now you're gonna post your report, and in this case, I actually gave this a little bit of thought how we were gonna do this. And this a bug report is a fairly common thing in tech, especially in coding, right? So check the discussion board before you actually go and start working, because maybe somebody has the error you got. Like if you saw the one I just got, don't use that one, right? Actually, I didn't say how to solve it, so I guess you could, but if somebody else posted it, don't. Right? So, and then do your bug one, bug two, bug three. So this is in your post, right? You want to do, right? Detective tool, how'd you find? Where'd you find it, right? The evidence, post the exact error or the console or the over, however you did it. And then the fix, like here's how I fixed it, right? So then reflect, right? So first you'll do this in your post, right? You'll have this bug report that you do, and then reflect and experience. What was the hardest one, right? What tools did you use to do this? Overall experience of doing this. Now, in this case, I say, also put one print screen or we call a screenshot, right? We did this in week 5. And one of these can be helpful. I'm not going to make you do all 3. I'm going to have a commits that I see that you did all 3, but one of these can be helpful to help students, just kind of see, because sometimes just reading content, but when they see it, it can help. So make sure you embed those. And this is where in week 5, we took a print screen of whatever, part of this you want to share, and then upload that into that images, because I believe in in our public, I had you create that IMJ and then do W8 PNG, okay? And then you can embed it. So if you want to remember how to do that, just go back and look at week 5. So this is worth 80 points, this whole thing, like answering the bug, right? Talking about this point and showing. So I'll actually update this, because it's actually doing all of this work is worth 80 points, and then doing a substantive reply is worth 20. If you attach these incorrectly, and honestly, the reason I'm particular about this is it just makes Canvas a bigger pain when we do print screens attached in Canvas. And it's just good to know how to embed versus attach them. Okay, so this 80 points is from doing your bug report, talking about this part of it, and doing your print screen. Okay, I hope you have fun with this. I know I played with it for a little while and it was really good. But it really, more than anything, what I want you to walk away with is there's multiple ways to find errors. But the key is the better you are at debugging, the better coder you become, because debugging is really just that. Do I understand what my code is attempting to do? Can I read it through? And then how do I track down errors? So the better you get at debugging, the better you get at coding. All right, talk to you later.